Welcome. I'm your host, Dr. McNasty, and tonight, this is Bootleg Cinema. If you're not familiar with Bootleg Cinema, this is my little snippet of the internet where I like to talk about the weird, obscure, or the forgotten. So, let's dive into it, I guess. I have no idea. And as always, I'll be joined with my co-host, DOCBOT. Say hi.
It's great to be back, bitches. Woo!
And we're going to be diving into a topic that is, kind of asked for. As we all remember, not too long ago, I dropped the top 5 underrated 90s cartoons of all time, which was kind of a blow-up, kind of a hit. So I decided to, do it again. So we're doing top 5 underrated 90s cartoons part 2 to scoop up some of the not really mentioned cartoons that we could have actually talked about, because honestly, when it comes to 90s cartoons, there's so many to fucking pick. So, with no further ado, let's dive into number 5. At number 5, The Critic. The Critic is an American primetime adult animated sitcom revolving around the New York film critic Jay Sherman, voiced by the beloved John Lovitz. It was created by writing partners Al Jean and Mike Reiss, who had previously worked on the writers and showrunners on season 3 and 4 of The Simpsons. You know it and love it. The Critic had 23 episodes produced, first broadcasted on ABC in 1994, and then finishing its original run on Fox in 1995.
Given the unflattering aesthetic, viewers might expect this show to take shots at film criticism. After all, Siskel and Ebert were incredibly popular at the time and received their share of fire from filmmakers. That said, The Critic goes in the completely opposite direction. Instead, it takes jabs at the entertainment industry. The flightiness, pettiness, and all-around shallowness of celebrity culture are fair game. They try to hide these flaws behind glitz and glamour, but the sleaze sometimes slips through the showmanship. Contrasting that presentation with the despicable nature of Tinseltown is hilarious, and The Critic captures it beautifully. The series never misses a beat in its relentless assault.
That's right, DocBot, and honestly, we could use a TV show like this today, because we have a lot of celebrities today who might need to be taken down a peg or two.
You mean shitty, overhyped assholes like Rock the Dwayne Johnson and low-key bigot Chris Pratt?
Damn, DocBot. What's with the hate? But yeah, pretty much that's the idea. But I do think it's quite funny that we have a recurring theme of Simpsons writers making all these underrated shows. But why don't we slip into number 4? Do you care to introduce it?
No problem, Doc. At number 4, we have Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is an American superhero animated television series based on the DC Comics superhero Batman. Created and developed by Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, and Alan Burnett, and produced by Warner Brothers Animation, the series began airing on January 10, 1999 on Kids WB, and ended on December 18, 2001.
Trust me, Batman Beyond couldn't have came at a better time, when we were all getting drastically tired of washed-out Justice League and whatever the fuck they did to Batman in the animated series by turning it into Batman and Robin. We were treated with a brand new, edgier version of Batman, known as Batman Beyond.
McGinnis, can you hear me?
Who's that?
It's Wayne.
Mr. Wayne?
Batman Beyond was set in a neo-noir future that follows a teenage Dark Knight under the mentorship of old man Bruce Wayne. Together they resume the good fight of the scum of Gotham City and try to seize control while the hero was absent. But now the city is formed with new alternate villains that take place of old villains, such as the Jokers and any other niche thing, like, ooh, there's a green guy. But yeah, and I know I'm just joking around, but this was a seriously good series that actually broadened the whole storyline of Batman the Animated Series and led to one of the best movie tie-in TV show things of all time. I don't know what I'm doing. DocBot, please take over.
Already on it, Doc. I guess what Doc is trying to imply is, it managed to do the impossible. by actually adding something worth a fuck to a previously existing IP which was unheard of in its time, especially for a cartoon series.
I literally couldn't say it better. Thank you. On to number 3. DOCBOT, you do it better. Once you introduce number 3.
You're doing that thing again, where all I do is read the nerd shit while you sit on your fat ass playing video games.
How about this? You do this one, and I'll do the next. I promise. I'll do the next.
Fine, I'll do it. Only because the viewers like me better anyways. On to number 3, Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Tales from the Crypt Keeper is an animated horror children's television series made by Canadian studio Nelvana. The series was broadcasted on ABC in the United States and on ITV in the United Kingdom. It is based on the 1950s EC Comics series Tales from the Crypt and the live-action television series of the same name, which aired concurrently on HBO. Intended for children, Tales from the Crypt Keeper is significantly milder than its live-action counterpart, and all blood, gore, profanity, and sexual content are completely removed to be more appropriate for the target audience. Most episodes take place within the fictional city of Gravenhurst, California. The series was canceled on December 10, 1994, and returned to the air in 1999 as the new Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Damn, DOCBOT, I didn't know you were going to be talking about Tales from the fucking Crypt Keeper.
Told you, Doc, it pays to pay attention, huh?
Fun fact, do you know I actually have the complete collection of all the action figures? Here they are showcased. Ooh, But no, I'm actually really glad this wound up on the list because this was a really fun show, especially if you were a kid and you weren't old enough to watch Tales from the Crypt, with the adults late at night, on the HBO where all the boobies and all the scandally shit was. This was a fun equivalent and actually didn't undermine kids at all. And it kept with the fun art style that a lot of shows were doing around the time when, with the Mighty Max and, fucking Toxic Crusaders, which was another show that was an adult IP turned into a child's IP. But yeah, man, good go on making this number 3 on the list. But on to number 2, which is kind of a requested one, surprisingly enough. Now we're on to number 2. Before we proceed with the rest of today's program, a quick shout out to all the people in the chat, because honestly the only reason why we have a part 2 to this video is the fact that it was very much requested, or at least ideas were hinted at. Not to mention my Instagram inbox was filled with 1 or 2 people requesting either a redo or wanting their entries added, so we did. So also a quick little mail call shout out, even though I'm pretty sure we've already done this one.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
It is by Sassamashan. I'm really bad at this. All things I've heard of, I would go with Project Geeker, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, Max Steel, War Planets, Peeran. I would say Freakazoid, Cyber 6, Sam and Max, and the Critic, but people know those. By the way, we've already covered the Critic on this. And of course, we had to reply back and say, I would say you have taste. Now I'm regretting not adding Peeran. Always room for part 2. Now we're back to where we're at now. Because what's better for part 2 than Peeran?
Who's that girl? What's her name? Is she cool? Is she lame? Oh, you're talking about what's her name? Peeran. Is she lame? Is she cool? Is she breaking every rule? Is she anybody's fool? Peeran, marching in her own parade. Peeran, she's like one in a million.
Peeran is an American animated television series created by Sue Rose and aired in the Disney One Saturday morning block on ABC. It first premiered on September 13th, 1997, and ended November 18th, 2000, which a good portion of the 90s, if I may say so myself. Peeran was the first Disney animated television series to be created by a woman. So shout outs to Sue Rose. You know, little clap, little bit of applause, if you will. Tom Warburton, who later created Cartoon Network's codename Kids Next Door, which is obvious in the art style that you see before you, served as the lead character designer for the series. Now, I know what you're thinking, Doc. Why? Why Peeran? Why Peeran? Surprisingly, there is a lot of hate for this series. Whenever I talk to my friends about Peeran, the one show they're always like, dude, I could not stand Peeran growing up. I mean, you know what? It's their fucking loss. Because, like, this was literally the As Told by Ginger before As Told by Ginger. The voice acting is phenomenal, my bad. The art style is very 90s and in a way that I don't know how to explain it. It's just all around a good series, and other than the fact that it's technically a Disney IP, I think there's nothing really wrong with it. Yeah, does Peeran kind of get on your nerves because she is definitely a flawed character, but at the same time, you do watch Peeran grow throughout the series, and it kind of makes it worth the watch. So yes, I'm proud to say that Peeran is number 2. On to the, well, numero uno.
At number 1, we have Bucky OHare. Bucky OHare is a fictional character and the hero of an eponymous comic book series and spin-off media, including an animated TV series and various toys and video games. He was created by comic book writer Larry Hama and comic book artist Michael Golden between 1977 and 1978, and made its publishing debut in Echo of Future Past #1 in May 1984.
Yeah, to put it lightly, he was literally the green Usagi Yojimbo in space. And in a weird way, in my eyes growing up, he was kind of bigger than Ninja Turtles, especially with many video games and arcade cabinets I was seeing growing up. But how did he wind up a cartoon to begin with?
Fun fact, Bucky is actually a parody. Bucky is loosely based off of the defunct Star Wars character Jackson, much like the Ninja Turtles, who were parodies of popular Marvel comic books of the time. Bucky, too, came from the same origins, Larry Hama stating that, "The color contrast of the Star Wars beast was so eye-drawing, I just had to lampoon it. Then it became a love story after that." And just like the popular comic Ninja Turtles, Bucky got his own show, Bucky OHare and the Toad Wars. Also known as Bucky OHare and the Toad Menace in Canada and Bucky OHare in the United Kingdom, is an animated series created by Sunbow Productions. It debuted in 1991 in the United States and 1992 in the UK on the BBC. The show was made with the intention of promoting the new Bucky OHare-themed toy line. When plans for that fell through, the series was abruptly canceled after only 13 episodes.
Sadly, Bucky couldn't keep up with the oversaturated market of anthropomorphic adventures with such hits as Tailspins, Darkwing Duck, and Gummy Bears, all of which are Disney properties. And don't forget about your wide variety of mutant-based shows like, Toxic Crusaders, which we've already mentioned, and of course, your creepy crawlers and monsters in my pocket. I can go on and tell you about the oversaturation of cartoons in the 90s and the reason why Bucky OHare failed. But the main point is, it had a certain magic and honestly deserves to be rewatched. But on that note, we have finally reached the end of today's video, and hopefully you agree with our picks. But if you don't, be sure to comment and tell us what you think, whether or not if you disagree or agree with our picks, and who knows, I might comment. I most likely will comment. But if you are interested in being a Coffin Cadet, all you have to do is click that subscribe button, and maybe even like it will help you out, and you'll receive this metaphorical Coffin Cadet official badge, and you'll be legit a Rooney. But on that note, I am Doc McNasty. Say goodnight, DOCBOT.
Good night. Love you guys. Come back and see me.
Alright, and bye.